I'm doing a solo ride on Stanford Rock today. Made it to the top, enjoyed the view, and now I'm heading down. So it's not hero dirt like it was when I rode it last year, but it's not as dusty as I was worried it was going to be. We've had a really dry summer, but last weekend and this week we got a little bit of rain, so I think that's helped. Riding solo today. Grayson had to work, but I did not. So I decided to make the trek down to Tahoe City, I guess technically up, and do Stanford Rock, which is, I'd say, my favorite trail in Tahoe. Definitely my favorite trail on the North Shore. Tyrolean is a close second and my favorite shuttle. And Kingsbury Stinger is my favorite on the South Shore. But yeah, I think Stanford Rock is my favorite overall. I think it's even my favorite if we include Truckee as part of the Truckee Tahoe region. Definitely feeling a little out of shape. I was sick last week, but so took lots of breaks in the uphill, and it was exactly as hard as I remembered it being, but 100% worth the climb. Actually ran, this is a new, should have remembered that. There's a tree down on the trail, so there's kind of a ride around sort of, but it's not really built looking farther ahead. I was starting to say, ran into some people at the top, and it was a couple of their first time on the trail. The first thing they said was, "Wow, that's worth the climb," which is definitely how I feel about both the view from the top and the riding down. Whew. That was not my best corner. So, if you've never ridden Stanford Rock before, that is the rockiest section. It's mostly pretty smooth. I may have crossed a rock slide as I came around that corner. I knocked some rocks around, and then I heard a bunch of rocks crashing down the slope. So either some kind of wildlife or caused a little chain reaction there. This trail is around 12 miles total with about 2,000 feet of climbing. And like I said, you feel the climb, but a lot of it is actually fairly well graded, really well graded. The first part is the steepest part, so at least I am always burnt out just starting with such a steep climb to start. Then you get into the nice switchbacks, and then around 2/3, 3/4 of the way, the climb gets rocky and definitely more challenging, not super technical, just in the loose rocks. Oof. It is late July and my descending legs are not in as good of shape as they could be. We always park in Ward Creek Canyon and come up that way, do a little creek crossing at the very beginning. So it's possible coming up one of the other trails that meets up with Stanford Rock might be less steep than the very first part, but I don't know, I'm gonna check them out. And haven't checked out the new build on Caspian. Well, I've never ridden Caspian, but that's one that Tamba was working on last year and this year, and I think is complete. Yeah, I definitely say this is also the best flow trail in the area. The top's a little rocky, but I'd call the majority of it flow. There's nothing uber technical, so despite the first part of it, this is definitely what I consider a flow trail. It's also, other than Flume Trail, got the best views, got the best view at the top, and then several sections along the way. Really got to get my descending legs into shape because end of the summer, Grayson and I are going to go to Switzerland and ride in Verbier and Zermatt. I'm planning to do a bunch of lift assisted and shuttle trails. I got to get ready to handle that. So if anyone has any Verbier or Zermatt recommendations, please put them in the comments. I'd love to hear your recommendations. I want sweeping epic views. Obviously I like flow trails, but do enjoy some tech. But like, if you ride something like this that also has a view of the Matterhorn, that would be my dream. So, Stanford Rock with a Matterhorn view, if anyone has a recommendation.
got one more coming.
Thanks, just me. Oh. Shit, sorry.
No, both coming hot.
Thanks. You too. Have fun. So I still have a non-e-bike for a mountain bike, but I think this would be a dream trail for a e-bike. Super fun. In fact, I think I only saw one other non-e-bike on it today. I mean, I've only seen like 6 people. We did dip our toes in the e-bike world and got a e-cargo bike for commuting. We got the Specialized Globe, and Grayson and I are sharing it for now. Say for now. We plan to share it, but I don't know. I could see a second e-commuter, but we've got a basket on the front. We've got racks on the sides with those big plastic buckets on, and it's awesome. The only thing it's not big enough for is hauling Bixby, our dog. But she is a 55-pound Pyrenees mix. It's very tall, so I don't know if there's any basket she would fit in. Maybe get one of those trailers. So Grayson hauls his freediving stuff to the lake. And oh, hi pup. Hi. Yeah, it's been really great. I commute to work with it. We got takeout and groceries. None of the baskets fit a pizza, unfortunately. Have to figure out a way to strap a pizza on the back rack. Get some bungees. I did take it. I have taken it a couple times mildly off-road. It has no suspension, just fat tires. But there's a little cut across on my work commute through on a social trail. And I mean, I take my gravel bike on it, so it's not really off-road, but the Globe does not handle quite as well as my gravel bike. Mainly because it weighs 75 pounds. must be past peak wildflower up here, but definitely still some. So the other thing we were doing on our trip, we were going to Switzerland and France and doing biking in Switzerland. We're gonna rent bikes over there, just so we don't have to travel with them the whole time. So then after Switzerland, we're gonna do France. We're going to Avignon, Provence to do kind of like wine stuff. So if anyone has any recommendations for wine, specifically rosé in the Provence or Avignon regions. And then we are gonna go spend a few days at the beach in Nice. So if anyone has any recommendations there, I mainly just want to go to the beach and lay on it. But I could be convinced to do a boat ride, perhaps. I don't want to jinx myself, but it is not too dusty at all, even on the downhill. There are definitely a couple dusty corners, and staying in the middle and not to the side where things are loose. But I mean, it's not like we got the most epic, literally the most epic hero dirt I've ever experienced in Truckee. We got that last year when we rode Stanford Rock, but this is not bad, especially for how dry it's been. it's also finally starting to cool down. I had a heat wave, or heat wave for Truckee, but like multiple days in the 90s, and then high 80s, and finally getting down into like the 70s, high 70s this weekend. My other thought for getting in shape for Switzerland is to go to North Star, which I don't think I have been North Star since I moved to Truckee. I went, a few times a year when I was living down in South Lake, but yeah, like since I moved to Truckee, I have not been to North Star. It's expensive, and I like Mammoth so much more that I've always just prioritized. We're gonna pay for lift service going down to Mammoth, but we haven't been to Mammoth in a really long time either. So maybe what's a North Star this year? Ooh. Hi, thanks. Some good worms here. Definitely sitting a little more than would be optimal. warming up quick. Not too bad, especially not starting my downhill, but glad I'm not starting the climb right now. That'd be hot. There's treed enough in here that there's not much of a breeze until you get to the very top. Just stay out of the saddle because sitting down for 1 second and then having to pop back up is not less tiring than just standing. Another peek at the lake. I think that was just the spur to Caspian that I passed. Yeah, the berms are so good that even with the loose dirt, I still have a lot of confidence in my turns. I'm almost out of the super fun Verbier part into the part that's a little more of a straightaway. Oh, still got some turns left. Okay, now pretty sure I'm out of the berms. Yeah, this is the straightaway. Now that I just kind of helping my standing, so I wore out my mountain bike shoes, and I actually have new ones. I haven't put my cleats in them yet. I'm wearing my gravel shoes, which just they're awesome for gravel, but they do not have the platform that I prefer to mountain biking shoes. Not that big of a sole. That can hurt. Just me. part, it used to be more of a double track, and it's growing over into a single track. It's still pretty straight. This is the part that's not super fun to immediately climb up. Honestly, my hands haven't felt too bad until this. Probably need to lay off the brakes a little bit. It's like a little bit blind and loose. Also, just got super hungry. Whew. Between gels, chews, and Tailwind, I thought I'd eaten enough, but oh boy. Ugh. Hope I have some food in the car. Oh, I don't think I do. And here we are. There's kind of a T there. I think other trails take you down to the neighborhood, but this is taking me down to Ward Creek Canyon. At some point, gotta get off and walk. It's steep and loose and overgrown and ends in a creek. The way up, I was very careful to keep my feet dry. The way back, I'll probably be a little less careful on the creek crossing.